Hey, what's up everybody, 2115 here, and today we are back with another in-depth video, and I am sorry if I post this video a little later than 6. I was kind of tinkering around with Adobe Photoshop, and I wanted to get the sense of what I can do with it so I can provide for my channel more, and make my videos look more interesting when a channel thumbnail to choose as for what the picture will be for the next in-depth video. But for this in-depth video, only thing I'm changing is my watermark at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom left, that's usually spinning. I'm going to be changing it from saying Chuppy115 to just saying my original 115 logo. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And for this in-depth video, we are going to be doing the Brain of Cthulhu. And what the Brain of Cthulhu is a crimson boss that resembles a large flying brain. And I find that very creepy whenever I fight him. Also, when it spawns when players destroy 3 crimson hearts, or when a player uses a bloody spawn. And the 3 crimson hearts are you can only find those in crimson biomes. So if your world doesn't have a crimson biome, then you wouldn't have those. You'll probably have shadow orbs because you have a corrupted biome. And yeah. And what we're going to talk about is the Brain of Cthulhu himself. And the Brain of Cthulhu is just a regular boss. He spawns, and you can only spawn him in the Crimson. And he does 30 damage. His max life is 1,000, and his expert life is 1,700. And his life with the creepers is 3,000 through 4,000, and on expert 5,700 through 7,700 with creepers. And the creepers are like little flying discs around the Eye of Cthulhu that attack you. So yeah. Also, the Brain of Cthulhu has a second form, and in the second form it does 30 damage, and its max life is 1,000, and on expert is 1,700, and his defense is 14. And so yeah, and also now we're gonna go on to our drops. And the drops that will occur when killing the Brain of Cthulhu is the Brain of Cthulhu mask, which is a 14.29%. But this can only be obtained only on PC and consoles. Mobile does not get this. Another thing is the Brain of Cthulhu trophy, and this has a 10% rate chance of getting it. Another thing is Crimson Ore, and you only get 40 through 90, and it's a 100% drop. Also, another thing you get are lesser healing potions, and it's a 100% drop. You can only get 5 through 15 of them. Another thing is tissue samples, and you can get 30 through 50, 100, and it's a 100% drop. And you could get a bone rattle. And if you don't know what a bone rattle is, I did an in-depth video on all pets, so you can go check that out if you want to know more information on the bone rattle. But it is a 5% chance of getting it. Next thing is a treasure bag, but this can only be obtained only in expert mode, and what it will drop is a Brain of Confusion. And what the Brain of Confusion does, it allows the player to whenever you hit a nearby enemy, they tend to become confused. And now we're gonna go on with some more information on our friend Brain of Cthulhu. And something else is that 20 to 30 creepers spawn along with the brain and orbit at high speed. All creepers must be destroyed first. As long as even one survive, the brain cannot be damaged whatsoever. Once the creepers are destroyed, the brain itself becomes vulnerable to attack. The brain cannot spawn new creepers, so note that. Also, the Brain of Cthulhu is the crimson counterpart of the Corruption's Eater of Worlds, much like its cousin. Fighting it is essential for progression, as the brain and its attendant creepers are the only source of tissue samples and usable quantities of crimson ore, which are required to craft advanced tools and armor. Note that, like the Eater of Worlds, actually defeating the Brain of Cthulhu is not completely necessary as long as you are able to destroy enough creepers to get the materials you need. Okay guys, now we're gonna go on to his attacks and his first phase. The brain itself is initially invincible. Basically, you can't do any damage to him if it's the brain itself. It teleports around the player, drawing nearer before teleporting away again in a random direction while its creepers or minions attack. The creepers do not teleport along with the brain, but are instead pulled between the player and the brain in large sweeping orbits. Once all creepers are defeated, the brain enters its second phase. In expert mode, creepers can inflict various stats effects. So you get debuffs, I believe. Now his second phase. In the second phase, the brain becomes vulnerable to attacks and aggressively attempts to ram the player, just like our friend the Eye of Cthulhu, before teleporting away. Expert mode now. Also in the second phase, 3 mirror images of the brain appear to distract the player and become invisible as the boss loses health. And just like the creepers in expert mode, the brain can also cause various stats effects such as debuffs like darkness, silence, and weak. So note that when you're fighting him. In expert mode, you're gonna get debuffs by his minions, and in his second form, if he hits you, you get the debuffs. Okay, now we're gonna go on to some notes. Note number 1, creepers drop hearts at a higher rate than most enemies. Note 2, creepers are more aggressive on expert mode. And number 3, you can summon 2 brains at once by smashing crimson hearts. They seem to share their creepers and go in second phase simultaneously. And now we're gonna move on to some tips. Okay, a tip is, as creepers drop tissue samples and kryptonore fairly quantities, it's technically not necessary to defeat the Brain of Cthulhu to gain access to Crimson tier equipment, only to kill a couple of creepers and secure their drops. So you don't have to fight the brain itself, you just fight his minions and still get the stuff. Another tip is, creepers have low individual health and are especially susceptible to the on fire and frost burn debuff. So they're vulnerable to fire and frost burn. So weapons that inflict those can make quick work of them. So if you have those, it's easier. It's like that. You just kill them. Easier. Also, the Brain of Cthulhu is the only boss susceptible to knockback. Weapons that with high knockback, such as the rotted fork, can keep both creepers and the brain from closing distance between teleports. Also, another tip is, unlike the Eater of Worlds, the Brain of Cthulhu doesn't run away and despawns if you leave the Crimson. Therefore, you are able to summon it and lead it to a nearby arena in a less hilly biome. It will still despawn if you teleport home. So if you just magic mirror back to your spawn and it's really far, it's just gonna despawn. Okay, another tip or a final tip is, chest arrows or other enemies' piercing weapons can be immensely helpful while fighting the first stage of the Brain of Cthulhu, because creepers often line up in a relatively straight formation, effectively allowing the player to hit most, if not all, the creepers in one well-aimed shot. So anyway guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you learned something new, leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. These videos take me a while to make and a while to upload. It's almost like takes me 3 hours to upload, and right now it's 2:47, and it takes me about 3 hours to just get a 10-minute video get rendered. But anyway, guys, that's it for this one. Next video I will be covering the Queen Bee, so look out for that. And that's really it. I'm Chippy115, and I'm out. Peace.